I'm Miss Lori, and I'm from the public library in our community, and I'm here with you today to share some of my favorite stories. They're all examples of resilience, self-reliance, and survival. We'll go ahead and get started with the first story. It's The Black Stallion by Walter Farley. Let me just kind of move the cover around so that everyone gets a chance to see it. In The Black Stallion, the main character is Alex Ramsey. He's a city boy, and he lives just outside New York City with his mother and his father. Riding horses is the one thing Alex has always wanted to do. And one summer, his mother and dad send him to visit a favorite uncle overseas, his Uncle Ralph. He takes a ship, and it takes about a month to reach India, traveling over the ocean. If you were to talk to Alex, he would say the best thing about that summer was that Uncle Ralph taught him how to ride horses. This was something Alex needed to learn how to do in order to be able to accompany Uncle Ralph in his missionary travels throughout the countryside in India. He missed his mom and dad, but when he thought about the trip home, Alex was a little sad because he knew that there weren't that many opportunities where he lives, just outside New York City, in order to ride horses. And so when he got ready to board the ship to head for home, that's why he got so excited when he saw a black stallion being loaded on board the ship that he was going to travel on. Now, up until now, the wild stallion has lived wild and free. The men who captured him, they're sending him home, sending him overseas, away from the only home he's ever known. Everyone on the ship, though, is afraid of the black stallion because he's wild, he's screaming, he thrashes. Everyone, that is, except for Alex, who determines somehow to make friends with the stallion during the long voyage home. Right then and there, Alex begins to refer to him as the Black because, well, that's what he is, and because no other name suits him. Each night, the Black kicks and screams in the converted stateroom that is his makeshift stall. He won't let anyone come near him in the stateroom in which he's housed. The black stallion, he always snorts and he flails. He lets loose with his own distinctive, piercing shriek, day and night. Every day, Alex manages to sneak down to peer through the porthole of the black stall. There he stares into the eyes of the black stallion that belongs to someone else. It doesn't take long for the Black to begin to look forward to the sugar cubes Alex always leaves behind on the window ledge, marking each of his visits. One night, the weather turns something frightful. The ship is struck by lightning during a terrible storm and begins sinking. Though the lifeboats are being lowered into the water, Alex, he refuses to leave the ship without trying first to free the Black from his stall. The enormous stallion is terrified by the thunder and the lightning and the roiling pitch of the sea. As soon as Alex frees the Black, he jumps overboard into the ocean, knocking Alex overboard with him in his haste. Even though the life jacket, it's pulled tight around Alex, the boy can barely keep his head above water. It's all he can do to stay afloat. He's nearly drowning in the wind and the huge waves. Alex doesn't see a single lifeboat nearby. The only thing he sees is the blacks swimming in the pounding ocean. When the black stallion's halter rope brushes against him in the water, he grabs on tight. If he's going to drown, Alex wants to be near the horse he loves. Will Alex and the black stallion survive the sinking ship and this horrible storm? Will they make it to shore safely or drown like everyone else aboard the ship? To find out, you'll want to read The Black Stallion by Walter Farley. The next story I'd like to share with you is My Side of the Mountain by Jeannie Craighead George. Young Sam Gribley can't wait to leave the crowded New York City apartment he shares with 4 brothers, 4 sisters, along with his mother and dad. He has a plan to run away and live off the land homesteaded by his great-grandfather Gribley in the Catskill Mountains. Remarkably, Sam's father doggedly encourages this idea, telling him every boy should try running away, recounting his own failed attempt to stow away on a ship bound for Singapore. Sam travels light with $40, a folding knife, an axe, some string, a flint, and some steel. It's early May and plenty cold still outdoors. According to his plan, Sam takes the train north to the Catskills and then hitches a ride to Delphi, the small town closest to his great-grandfather's old farm. Somewhere on the family homestead is the carving of his great-grandfather's Gribley's name on the trunk of an old beech tree. Sam's first night in the forest is especially rough. He's unable to light a fire and goes to bed hungry. His hemlock bed is located in just the wrong place, downwind and on the north side of a mountain. Sam can't sleep at all because he's cold and hungry and damp and unaccustomed to the forest noises. What will come of his plan to survive, even thrive, on his great-grandfather's land? Can he hope to trap animals and forage the woods for food when he's not able to light a fire? What about his plan to create a permanent home, offering him shelter in the cold, snowy months? To find out whether Sam succeeds with his plan to live on the old Gribley homestead, you'll want to read My Side of the Mountain by Jeannie Craighead George. My next story I'd like to share is Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. What happens when you find yourself needing to ensure your own survival? Like the Black Stallion and like My Side of the Mountain, Island of the Blue Dolphins is a survival story. It's about a large family of Native Americans living on an island known to them as the Island of the Blue Dolphins. In this story, white men arrive on the island and negotiate with the native chief to trade goods in exchange for hunting privileges. After hunting sea otter all season long around the island, the men prepare to sail home, cheating the Native Americans and killing many of their warriors. They have failed to honor their earlier agreement. Every family on the island grieves the loss of a father, an uncle, or a son. Their island has become a place of much sadness. There are few people left to do the work of what many people once did, and the Native Americans worry that their food supplies won't outlast the coming winter. The girl with the long black hair fears for her survival, even as she tries to comfort her younger brother, Ramo, in the months following their father's murder. Times soon become tough for the remaining members of the family, and the new tribal chief, Kimchi, makes a tough decision. With food and water so scarce, he decides to take a canoe and to paddle east to another land to make a new place for all of them. The Native Americans are worried for his safety when he doesn't return as soon as they expected. Instead, Chief Kimchi sends a huge sailing ship back to the island of the Blue Dolphins, bringing news that he has found a new place for all of them, just as he promised. Now the remaining family is to join him by sailing eastward on this ship. Winter storms are fast approaching, and the Native Americans must take care to hurry and pack for the journey ahead. The girl with the long black hair urges Ramo to pack his few belongings in her baskets. Tools and weapons cannot be left behind. The Native Americans will need to use these in their new place. The remaining family is so excited to join Chief Kimchi in the new place and to be free of the sad memories on their island. Soon the traveling preparations are made and the family is secured aboard ship. Just as they begin to sail out of their island cove, the girl with the long black hair sees that her brother is gone ashore. He's not on board ship anymore, and instead she sees him running along the tallest cliff of the island, frantically waving his fishing spear overhead. The girl with the long black hair screams to the others that they must remain. They must remain long enough for her to go to shore to get her brother. She cannot, and she will not leave her brother behind. As the ship makes its slow turn eastward, away from the island, the girl cries out again and again for her brother. The elders' faces are set as stone, and the girl knows it's up to herself to ensure Ramo's safety and survival. Still screaming, she struggles to make her way across the deck. Despite the hands of many people attempting to hold her in place, the girl with the long black hair throws herself into the ocean. She must return to her brother, though the ocean is cold and seems to nearly swallow her whole. Will the girl with the long black hair drown in the churning waves, or will she reach safety and join her brother on shore on the island of the Blue Dolphins? To find out, you'll want to read the story, Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott O'Dell. The last story I'm going to share today is Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls. I'm going to just let everybody see the cover. Billy Coleman is 10 years old when he catches what he likes to call his dog-wanting disease. Billy lives with his mother, his pa, and his 3 little sisters on a farm in the Ozark foothills. A Great Depression rages throughout the country. Many people are out of work. His pa offers to speak to a neighbor whose collie is due to have pups, but this isn't what Billy has in mind. Not one bit. His case of dog-wanting disease requires 2 coonhound puppies. Billy wants them so bad. He's not sleeping at night, and he's even lost weight, even though he loves his mama's cooking. Before too long, both Billy's mother and dad have done their best to help him understand that a $75 purchase like this just isn't possible during these hard times. His pa underscores the fact that there are farmers nearby who are cutting railroad ties just to put food on the table. Billy realizes that his family cannot afford such an extravagance. He cries himself to sleep. He's determined not to upset his folks anymore by talking about coonhound puppies. But that doesn't free him from his private dog-wanting disease. Billy's the kind of boy, though, that loves being outside. Fishing, hiking, running through the woods are just about his favorite activities. One day, Billy visits a nearby campground and finds a sportsman magazine that a hunter has left behind. In the back pages of this magazine, he reads through the advertisements and he sees ads for all kinds of dogs offered for sale. When Billy sees an ad for red-boned coonhound pups, he knows what he must do. In an instant, he purposes to save the $50 that these pups will cost. He's going to do it on his own, performing all kinds of odd jobs. He knows he can sell vegetables, worms, crawdads to the campers that visit during warm weather months. He'll pick berries in summer and he'll trap during winter. Although this is an enormous amount of money for a youngster his age, Billy determines it'll be his own private enterprise to satisfy his dog-wanting disease. Will Billy be able to accomplish his goal of saving $50 to purchase 2 red-boned coonhound puppies? Will Billy abandon his dream when he discovers how slow the money is earned? To find out, you'll want to read this story by Wilson Rawls.